Hello, weird people. I kind of want that to be my new intro, I think, because I'm a weirdo. I take being weird with great pride, so if I call you a weirdo, I mean it in the best way possible. It's the best. So hi, weird people. This is going to be a first impressions using the Juvia's Place, the Taupes Palette. Let me just say, you'll get there in the video. It's not the darkest of palettes in the world. It's not like, that's kind of more what it looks like there. The shimmers are stunning. Everything performs perfect. It's not a bad palette. I love this palette. But I don't think it's what a lot of people expect from this palette. It's not a dark palette. You're not going to get a super dark, super grungy look, but you can make it look grungy if you wanted to, or add things to it. I mean, who's to say you only have to use one palette for your whole face? You can use 10 if you want to. But in this, I'm only using this one. This is the look I created here. If you want to see any up-close pictures of this look, my Instagram is linked down below. The pictures of close-up eyeball, close-up face ball will go on that at some point after the video goes live. I don't know, usually a couple of days after. I will be swatching this as well on my IGTV, up close and personal and all that kind of stuff, and I will obviously be doing a 2 looks 1 palette, and I will obviously be using it more in the future whenever I feel the need to pull it out. I don't just do like videos on my palettes and then never use them again. I do actually use them in real life. So I do want to do more get ready with me as well, so I probably will pull them in for that. So this is the look we came up with. I am going to do some swatches before we get into the tutorial, and then I'll get into the tutorial. Swatches will be, let me pull my sleeve down, should have done this in the first place, will be on my arm like normal. No primer, no nothing. Nothing is wet, nothing. It's dry, fingers are dry, everything is good. This is just to give you an idea of the tones and how they swatch. Obviously you'll see them in performance. I didn't use everything in the palette. I think I said I was going to use this one, but I end up not using it because I actually kind of like how it looked already. But we will get use out of this one, obviously, as well. So let's get into some swatches. Okay, so swatches. Let's see. We're going to start up here. We're going to go across and then go down here and across. And we're just going to do it. I always like to show you guys how many times I swirl my finger in the pan, just so you can see I'm not like double dipping or anything like that. And when I do double dip, I let you know. So this one here doesn't look as gold in the pan, but when it goes on the skin, it is quite gold. It's what I have on my inner corner right now, and it surprised me how gold it was. I maybe wouldn't have used it on my inner corner, but now that it's on, I like it. Like, I wouldn't have initially chose it knowing how gold it is to go on my inner corner, but I like it now that it's on. I'm happy it's there. If that makes sense, yes. Okay. Next up then is what looks like the darkest shimmer in the palette. It's actually just more the tone of it makes it look really dark. It's the sparkliest though, and it's so stunning. Probably my favorite shimmer in the whole palette. But this is like your classic taupe, but to me it kind of has like bluey goldy kind of flecks. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that, but some bluey gold flecks in there. Super pretty. I have this on the inner part of my lid in here. Then we've got a matte finish here. It's the warmer matte. It's the one I didn't use in my eye today. Super nice kind of caramelly sort of matte brown. The colours, I'm doing a double dip, another dip just to build it up, see how dark we get, because I obviously didn't use it on my face. Oh, it does build up quite nice. The mattes perform like normal Juvia's Place mattes. They're stunning. The performance of the palette is beautiful. I actually really love it. That's a nice little colour story right there. That's pretty. Next matte is what I use to blend out my darker shades on my eye as like my transition shade. And it's a bit cooler toned, but again, it kind of has that kind of golden, oh, whoa, that did not swatch well. It worked beautifully on the eye though. Yeah, it's definitely softer. We'll do a third dip. This is dip number 3. There. These two kind of match each other a little bit, I think. It's a beautiful colour, so easy to blend. You'll see how quick it took me to blend everything. I literally took no time because the tones are so similar. Again, with these palettes, I'll just mention it now, it's the same with the other small palettes. You're only going to get a certain amount of looks out of it. You can do your looks in different ways and get a million looks out of it, but you're only going to get a bright pink look with the pink palette. You're only going to get a brown look with the brown chocolatey palette, and you're only going to get a taupe look out of the taupe palette. It's just where you place the colours. The shapes are going to be different. How dark you go is going to be different. How light you go is going to be different. It's all in how you apply it, not necessarily the colours themselves, if that makes sense. So like with this, you're going to get a taupey, cool toned, maybe slightly warm here and there when you want it to be, but still on the taupey side with this palette. So always bear that in mind with these littler palettes. Then we're going to go into this one here. This one is like a sequin shadow, so it's like a matte with very, you have to get really up close to see it, very fine shimmers in it, but the shimmer does not show up on the eye whatsoever. It's what I have as my main crease color. So this one here, whoa, this is not swatching nice either. Why? Is it my finger? There we go, that's better, look at that. So this is my favorite kind of tone of taupe. I love this kind of color. When this is in a palette with any other colors, I always gravitate towards it. It's my favorite kind of crease color to just throw it on and it looks like a shadow. It has some color to it. It is dark, you'll see it in the palette. It does go deep-ish, just not a dark color. You know what I mean? It's like more like a mid-tone sort of shade. And then the last one here is the warmer shimmer. It's what I have on the center of my lid right now. Also quite sparkly, but warmer, almost leaning on a rose gold kind of color. But there is a lovely mix of colors. You have 3 mattes, 3 shimmers. It's a gorgeous little balance between all the colors. I think they're beautiful. I think the palette is beautiful, but bear in mind what you're getting when you get it. So that is my thoughts on the palette. That is your swatches. So let's actually see it in action and we can see how it performs on me. And obviously we'll be doing more looks, but obviously in this palette we'll be doing, or in this video we'll be doing one. So let's see how it turns out. Alrighty guys, so let's get into the first time using the Taupes palette from Juvia's Place. I think we may actually use every single colour in this palette today. Just as I've been thinking colours through, I think that's the way we're going to go about it. It's going to be a pretty simple enough eye, a lot of blending, no cut crease, nothing too technical. Probably these two in the crease and then this in the inner crease to warm it up a little bit, just for a little pop of something. And then the lower lash line will probably be like this and this blown out as well, or maybe this with this blown out, I'm not sure yet. And I'm going to do all the shimmers, these two on the lid and this one on the inner corner, and we're just going to see what it looks like. It's probably going to be grungy because that's the usual vibe that I tend to go for, so we'll see. Anything that's on my face right now is listed down below, so you can find that out there. It's always listed, so you can just see how I did my face and what I used on my face. Just a heads up for blending purposes, I have what I'm assuming was an ingrown hair that I think I scratched, and now it's just a dry patch of skin, little dot right there. I don't think it's going to affect the blend, but just in case, that's what it is. Okay, I think I'm going to start with the darkest shade. It's not going to go super dark from the looks of the palette. It's, you know, that's kind of as dark as you're going to get out of it. It's not as dark as the Chocolates palette, nowhere near as dark as that, but we can get something decent out of it, I think. So let's start with that shade, that deepest classic taupey grey kind of shade. This is a MAC 221 brush and we're just going to pop this on the outer corner. Oh, it is actually deep a little bit. I'm not going to worry about blending or anything like that. I'm just going to slowly build up that colour through the crease. Just make sure we're getting it in the general shape I want it, which I think I want it to be winged out a little bit because why not? Okay, so next I'm going to do a bit of this one, I think, the cooler kind of taupey sort of shade. I'm going to take this on an Inglot 6SS and we're just going to use this to buff this out. It will be a touch warmer than what we've just placed. The first shade is a bit more grey, but this one seems like it has a bit more of a brown sort of tone, which I really like. It's blending very easy. Make sure as well when you're blending to actually like wing out the blend as well, so it all pulls the eye upwards. Just with whatever's left on the brush, you don't really have to add any more unless you're losing colour, then you can add a little bit more. Okay, and then before we do any shimmer or anything like that, see, this is what I mean, it's not like the deepest of shades. Let's just see if I can actually add a bit more of that darker one, just to see if I can build that back up a little bit. Yeah, like it's not the deepest of shades, but I didn't expect it to be. It looks like a soft palette. I expected it to be a soft palette. So I think for what it looks like to me, I'm getting everything I wanted out of it. But if you have very deep skin, I don't know if this is going to show up on you that much. You'd be better off with the Chocolates palette. You'd be better off with maybe the Warrior palette. You'd be better off with even Warrior, Nubian 2, is that what it is? I can't remember the exact name of it, but there is another one that's like warmer kind of colours. These also might pull a little bit ashy as well if you're very warm toned, and you're not necessarily if you're super deep, but if you're very warm toned, you may get a little bit of ashiness out of it as well. So just be careful, be mindful that when you're going into this with this palette, This is as dark as I'm gonna get it, unless I use a different primer. Maybe we can try that out with maybe my 2 Lux 1 palette. We can see. So now I'm gonna do, after my little ramble, I'm gonna go into that deepest shade again. I'm gonna take my 214 from MAC, picking some of that up, and we're gonna run that along the lower lash line, just to give us a little bit of a smoke on the bottom, connecting it on the outer corner like always. Gonna go about 2/3 of the way across, just because. We might add a bit of shimmer down there. I like to leave a little bit of a gap until I'm ready. See, now with the lower lash line, you're getting a bit more of that ooh cat eye effect. Okay, so then just to give us the same blend, I'm going to use that shade again. I'm going to use my 6SS because I don't mind using a really large brush on my lower lash line to give us that smokiness. So we're just going to go in here. Buff it out. I thought there was a spider on my light there. I was going to have a freak out. It was my fingerprint. I kind of like that it's like an antique-y kind of look to that colour. I think it's a really pretty colour for the greyish sort of effect. So just taking a little bit of my glitter primer next from NYX, and I'm just popping this on with my finger just to get a bit of extra stickiness on the lid. See how these colours work. You would have seen in the swatches how they look without any primer, but I know some people do prefer to see them without any glitter primer or not a finger swatch. I like glitter primer. I like how it looks on my eyeball. I like how it makes my shimmers look. I like how the application goes when I use it as well. I just feel like it gives me a better look to the eye as well. I'm going to take the tiniest little bit of that glitter primer as well on my baby finger. I'm just going to pop that on that inner part in here. Then I'm taking an e.l.f. concealer brush, a super flat little synthetic brush. I'm gonna use the kind of grayer one, that one that almost matches this, but it's actually not as dark as this, or as it even looks in the palette from my swatches. So I'm gonna take a bit of that on my inner corner, not my inner corner, my inner lid, and the inner third of my lid. I'm gonna pop that in there just because it's super cool toned out here. So I think if I do the cool tone out here and the slightly warmer shimmer on the inner part, or on the center, it would be pretty cool looking. This is gonna go in here. We're not doing a cut crease or nothing, so just whack it on as you would any other look. Then I'm just flipping that brush over. I'm gonna go in with the slightly warmer of the shimmers. It kind of almost matches this one. We're gonna take a bit of that, and that's gonna go on the center. I feel like this one I've just used is a bit chunkier, where this one is a bit more metallic. Yeah, you can kind of see the difference in them. This colour actually would be a stunning, just like one and done kind of thing. They should blend pretty seamlessly, but I'm just kind of flipping my brush over as I need to make them blend in the middle. And then I think just for that little lower lash line in here, I'm gonna go in with the warmer shade just for something a bit different against the grayer tones on the lower lash line. Taking that same brush just for a bit of precision, and we're just gonna run that there, give it a little pop of shimmer, because sometimes I feel like I always do just a super smoky lower lash line all along, but adding the little shimmer there opens the eye a little bit, which I quite like, and it also gives a weird thing that like the shimmers in here, it's all a bit weird, but whatever. And then just my last little step for my inner corner, I'm going to use the more pewtery sort of gold shade here. I'm taking that on my 221 again. I may go in with a different brush, but I just have this here. I've just wiped it off, and I'm just going to pop this on my inner corner just to see how this looks. I do like it. I don't know if it'll be for everyone though. It's a bit more yellow toned, which is odd. It almost nearly matches, like they almost all correspond to each other, and this matches this one here, but a bit more golden. Got more gold than I thought it was going to be. I'm not mad at it. It wouldn't have been my first choice though, but I actually kind of like it because it's weird. Alright guys, so this is how the eyes are done so far. I'm going to jump off. I have to decide. I think I probably will do a wing of some sort. Maybe, I don't know. I actually really don't know. I have to think about this. I'm very stumped on how I want to do the rest of this look. I know I obviously want to do a cool toned lip, but if I do a liner, will I do a more nude lip? Or if I don't do a liner, will I do a thing? But then what kind of lashes am I going to do? I don't know. Let me go finish off the rest of my face, and then we'll go from there. Alrighty guys, so this is how I have finished off my look. I braided. I can't actually do like a full-on French braid in my hair because my arms get too tired. I'm too lazy to do it. I can do it on the side though. It's stressful. It stresses me out. But I can do it every now and again when I'm in the mood to be stressed. So let's get into what I actually used on my whole face. For my eyes, I used my Physicians Formula Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Eyeliner and Serum in Ultra Black. It's just a liquid liner, one with a brush tip applicator. Haven't used it really, and I really like it. It's very easy to use. Not the blackest black in the world, but like, it's good. I really like it. I really like the wing that I got there. So for my pencil, I use my number 7 Stay Perfect Amazing Eyes pencil. This is in the shade Bronze. It doesn't actually have it written on it, but it kind of matches that warmer tone perfectly, so I thought that'd be cool on the waterline. I was actually going to leave it there, but I was like, nah, we'll put some on. Then I use my usual Essence Get Big Lashes Mascara. This is my last time using it, I think, and we will move on to something brand new. So then for my lashes, I used my BH Cosmetics D305. This is the box. They're like $3.50 on Beauty Bay. Can't go wrong. Super nice. Give that real cat eye effect, which is what I was going for the whole time. Then onto my cheeks, I used my MAC Next to Skin blush. It's not a blush on me. It is a contour because I want to keep it a little bit more cooler toned, not too bronzy. Then my blush is a cream blush from Inglot. This is the shade 87. It's actually kind of warmer. So I know I said I want to go cool tone, but the warmer tone I think looks quite nice to give a bit of warmth. I don't want to look dead, so a little bit of warmth. And then as far as my highlight, this is limited edition. I don't know if you can get it online still. I got it over Christmas. This is the MAC Let It Glow Extra Dimension Skin Finish. It came out for their Christmas collection. It's just a white. If you have Double Gleam from MAC, that will do. If you have what's the other one, the Diamond Bomb, it's a bit more glittery, but that from Fenty. If you have it but don't want to say you have it, the Jeffree Star Ice Cold is kind of identical to it, so I didn't want to use that today on camera. Anyway, I do have it, but I don't want to use it. But yeah, that's the same if you do want dupes for those, but a white shimmery eyeshadow will do as well if you have that. And then my lips is my MAC Lip Pencil in Stone. It's a cool taupey brown lipstick or lip pencil to give a nice bit of colour to the lip. And then I used my MAC Viva Glam 2 lipstick. It's a cool toned nude, but still gives a little bit of colour to the lip as well, so I'm not completely bare. I kind of went for a mid-tone nude lip, not super pale, because I'll probably do that on my 2 Looks on palette. I'll probably do a darker lip as well on my 2 Looks on palette, so yeah. And then as far as gloss, I just wanted to top this over because I adore this. This is the Jouer lip topper in the shade Frostbite. It's just a shimmery white. So yeah, that's my whole face. Okay guys, so that is everything. As far as my thoughts on the palette, I love it. I think it performs really well. I think it performs as I expected it to perform. Nothing extraordinary and nothing under par. It's not a dark palette, so don't expect it to go dark. Don't expect this color to go any darker than it looks in there. Like, that's it there on it like first, and then I use other colors to blend it out. But you could probably build it a bit more. I can always do a darker base if I wanted to build up the color a little bit more. The shimmers, this doesn't come out as dark either. It's actually one of the lighter shimmers, even though it looks like the darkest one on the palette. I would say this is probably the darkest in the palette, and then this one, but this is more golden. So it's just a mix of things that are gonna go together, but you may want to play with it a little bit to get the effect you want, you know what I mean? I will be doing a 2 Looks on palette on this, obviously. You would have seen the swatches at the beginning anyway, but yeah, I'll be doing 2 Looks on palette. I'll be doing two different kind of looks to see what we can kind of get out of it. But I actually really love how my makeup turned out. I love how soft it is, but still smoky. It's still a smoky eye, and I still get that nice shape to the eye going, but it's soft. So I kind of do like it. This is my kind of neutral palette, so I'm happy with it. I'm just thinking if someone wants to go for a taupey kind of palette, they may want to pull in other colors if you do have it, or maybe go for something a little bit deeper if your skin is a little bit deeper, or you would like a deeper kind of effect. So that's my thoughts. If you did like this video, then give a big thumbs up down below. Let me know in the comments what you think about this look. Do you have this palette? How do you find how dark it is? Because like I said, I love it, but it's not the darkest palette in the world. This would be like a super everyday palette for me. Like, yeah. If I didn't put liner and lashes on, this would be super soft look. So it just depends on how dramatic you want it to go. And also hit subscribe down below to see my 2 Looks on palette coming up. I will also have my Instagram link down below, and we've also got, oh yeah, I've got more collection videos coming up and more color series come up. Someone said that they wanted more greens. I've already done 2 green looks. We've got more coming up. I don't think this month is a green look, but like there's more greens. There's like weird greeny colors going up. So yeah, my Instagram is linked down below, like I said at the beginning as well, that this face will be going up on sometime after this video is live. I'm also currently swatching all of my palettes in IGTV, so go give it a follow down below to see those. This will be on it eventually. You'll see it all up close. It's super relaxing, super nice. I love it. I actually really like doing them. I love editing them on my phone. So much easier. So yeah, I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye.